Okay, cool. Sweet. So market thoughts, I think similar to everybody else, aside from the fact that if not looking at Twitter, I wouldn't nearly feel the way I would feel if I accepted it. So like the people accepting the Twitter dramatization, like yes, people are losing life savings. Yes, people are losing millions in this Luna thing, but people are also unrationally frantic. Last night, people are trying to dump Tether again uh, for like the trillionth time in the last 5 years. But Tether and Luna and Terra.
We lost Nate for a sec. It's okay. Yeah, the markets are crazy. Yeah, I'll pick up for him. The markets are crazy, so we're definitely gonna dig into what's been going on, how we're looking at the markets as a fund, as individuals, where we've been positioning ourselves. We'll also be covering what we do as ACYC, where we are with that, the growth of that protocol. And then, we're going to be talking about the Consortium Key, which for anyone that doesn't know, that's our upcoming Alpha Pass, which is not just alpha, it's tools and information that people can utilize to, get an advantage in even terrible markets like this. So we're excited to talk about that. And that's sort of what's on the roster for today, for today's spaces. So yeah, overall though, I think, we're feeling very bullish, honestly, about being able to capitalize on these markets and where we are as a fund and where we're going to be moving towards.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I'm
Sweet.
back.
Yeah.
So people.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're good. I just introed them. What we're
I
doing.
could hear. I just couldn't speak. But yeah. So basically, people are over emotional. The bottom might not be in. It might go lower. But at the end of the day, and when I say end of the day, next couple of weeks, next month, this will be a price point that Ethereum will be at or will have touched again if it breaks. So not really much worries in tethering. I think the big thing right now is everybody's realizing, oh, the game, like for the first time in a long time, like we've had some other real dips, definitely, but there's a lot of people who are down on NFTs, down on coins, and then down on the percentage down of the major tokens, anyways. So people are like really down, like bad. But it's not time to get out of the space because XRP hasn't pumped, and if XRP hasn't pumped, then we still have a moon left. The cycle's not over. Kind of a joke, but in seriousness, it means that Bitcoin's definitely worth a lot more than $29,000. A lot of us can agree that if we saw it at $100,000 or $200,000, later on, it actually wouldn't like surprise us at all. Like for me, even now, like $1,500 Ethereum sounds cheap. So we all agree it's going to go up, at least I think, in the near future. And so this is the time to be repositioning. So an example of repositioning, I bought Bored Ape other side land deeds for 5.5 Ethereum. And right now they are 3 Ethereum. So 5.5 Ethereum down to 3 Ethereum, and the US dollar value of Ethereum is down too. So not only am I down 2.5 Ethereum on each, I'm also down the US dollar value down. But it's not a time to sell the land then sell the USD, because then I'm just down bad. Wait 1 second, I'll put it on the shoulder. Then I'm just down bad. The appropriate move is to reposition. And so in this instance, I'm selling my lands for 3 ETH and I'm buying OK Bears for 2.5, because I think long term, land might go to like 10 ETH, maybe 15 in a really insane market. But I think it's way more probable that OK Bears go to 10 to 15 ETH. And I also think of the two, the other side land will never see higher than 25 ETH a plot. And OK Bears could see like 100 ETH floor, in my opinion. If just basing off potentials, like I'm not saying either of them will, but if the other side land can hit 50 ETH or even 25 ETH, then I think OK Bears can hit 100. So just repositioning. Same thing with a lot of tokens. I have a lot of tokens where I'm like, shit, I don't think you're going to come back in the next month. Sell it for something else that might come back. And don't equate your net worth like at the moment. It's down. Your net worth will come up and calculate as down bad, likely. And so just reposition and wait. $1,900 Ethereum is cheap. $40 Sol is cheap. We are still early. We all still will be okay. And if you haven't paid your taxes yet, and that's a concern, then that's a topic for another day. And so that's probably like market thoughts. And I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. If I woke up tomorrow and I saw Ethereum was $3,000, I'm not going to sell the Ethereum I have today because I still think the market doesn't agree with what I think Ethereum is worth. So that's market thoughts. ACYC as a holdings company and investment, alpha tool creating group, the forward vision into this market is conviction. We have a pretty diverse portfolio, but not really. Most of it's play to earn, yield farming, and NFTs. We had some tokens, but we already cut those. And as ACYC, the Treasury, most of what we've been consolidating has been going into OK Bears. Guys, I know for those who, I'm going to pull out my phone to see what people, I know when you guys hear this, you're probably thinking like, oh shit, Nate's off his rocker. Like he's buying OK Bears with the ACYC Treasury as well. It's not one of those things where ACYC Treasury is buying OK Bears to solidify the OK Bears price, because in turn, ACYC's probably only bought about 15 of them. And we'll continue to buy them. It's because when doing this repositioning and conviction bets, we can focus on buying something that we think the risk to reward ratio of is very favorable of going to the moon, quite literally, within the next year. And here's an example. So a year and 2 weeks ago, Bored Ape Yacht Club minted for $180. And after 365 days, the cheapest, if you were to sell everything that you got from your Bored Ape, including the Bored Ape, you'd have $1.2 million. About 2.5 weeks ago, OK Bears minted for $150 each. And I think within the next 365 days, and this is just a very conservative number, I think that the OK Bears will return a value of $50,000 to $100,000 from current price. So if the OK Bears price right now in US dollars is $4,500, I think within the next 365 days, there isn't really a universe where NFTs are successful and OK Bears haven't busted through 50K. And it's one of those things where, yes, 50K is my conservative, what the value could be, non-dependent of what token prices are, but the value in US dollars, a membership price to enter a club, to enter a community. There are 10,000 OK Bears, 10,000 membership tokens. It's just like, would you rather hold 2.5 Ethereum or a membership token to a sick club that you can also sell out of? And so right now they're $4,500, and it's one of those things where if you've seen NFTs make giant runs, so like Doodles, for example, Doodles minted and they were instantly almost chilling at like a 1 Ethereum floor for what felt like a couple weeks. They went to 3 Ethereum and then back down to 1 Ethereum for like a month or two. Then all of a sudden the run starts. They go to 3 Ethereum. People sell into that with massive volume. They go to 6 Ethereum. They go to 7. They go to 8. They go to 9. They go to 10. And what happens when you hit 10, which would be the equivalent of me saying that OK Bears would hit like a $40,000, at some point in the next 365-day value, the difference is, not the difference, the similarity is sometimes when the price goes up, if it's going up, there's a reason. And if that reason is validated, it continues to skyrocket. And that's why you see Doodles go, from 10 ETH to 15 to 18, down to 13, up to 25 now. It's because once it hits that first price, it's pretty much validated that it hit that because the project is successful and will continue to be successful. And so that's like the OK Bear thesis. Like there are a lot of people who were here back during the beginning of Bored Ape Yacht Club, and some of the people who cashed out or had the best returns over the last 365 days are two friends. And this story multiplies multiple times. Two friends who saw OK Bears, bought 5 or 7 or 10. Some of them, like OSF and the Great Mondo, bought like 40 or 50 for their fund at 2 or 3 Ethereum each. And now 40 or 50 of them would have netted you like 40 to $50 million. So absolutely insane. And back then they probably spent close to, I don't know, 200K to $40 million. Crazy. So that's what we're looking for as an investment fund. And that's what we'll be focusing on going forward, is things like OK Bears. Like if something else comes out that is like OK Bears in terms of risk to reward, like I'm for certain that OK Bears will be worth more in the future at some point by multiples than they are today. If something else comes across the radar like that at any point, like I never knew about OK Bears during Mint. Nobody did, like from the Ethereum side. It's one of those things where when you look at it and you do your research, you understand why it's so bullish, and you just go in. So if we see any more like that, we'll go in. But ACYC as like an investment fund will focus on OK Bears mostly. Like for right now, the allocation would be something like 60% OK Bears, 60% OK Bears, 20% or 30% play to earn. So play to earn could be something like the other side deeds. It could be cyber Kongs. It could be creeps. It could be anything that's play to earn yield. So 60% OK Bears, 30% play to earn, and then 10% meme coins. So we'll save about 10% of the treasury for meme coin season. You don't need $1 million in meme coin season to make millions of dollars. You just need like 20 or 10K. So we're saving, a couple $100K for the meme coin season, and we'll play with that, and we'll get some massive returns when those come. Because at the end of the day, I am under the assumption that the bull cycles continue. We're not done, so there's massive returns. And even if the bull cycle is over and we're entering a bear, there will still be many dips to buy and rips to sell. So that's kind of the focus going forward. We have the Consortium Key. It's kind of our membership token NFT to get into the Discord, where we discuss all the things investment-wise, such as like if somebody wanted to know theses, or if they wanted us to like evaluate what they're thinking of, if they find something similar to OK Bears, that's kind of where it is. But also on top of that, it's like an Alpha Tools Discord. So we'll have like a bunch of the Nansen like top wallets and smart money moves tracked in our Discord, and we'll curate them for you so that you don't have to go out and do it yourself. And we'll also make some of the tools that we're making and have already made publicly available to the holders, such as like when a new token gets listed on an exchange or Uniswap, you can buy it almost instantly. Or if there's a new mint, you can mint it almost instantly. So things like that, and then some, as well as curated Twitter feed, and we'll be bringing on some analysts to give market research and market direction. It'll be like an alpha information community investment fund Discord. Right now we have the Consortium Key artwork. You can see it on the Consortium Key in this call. It's one of the hosts. Actually, I think it is the host, the Consortium Key. That'll be the path to the Discord. We just came up with the number and the mechanics, but we're going to tweak them just a little bit more depending on how inclusive we want this to be. Because for the most part, we will want active traders. We'll want active people who want alpha. Like if you see something like OK Bears, you could go and spend a lot of time researching why someone like Nate would be so bullish, or Nate could write a report and you could read it in 15 minutes or even 5 minutes, and then make your own assumption. So curated stuff like that for people with money, or people who want to come out and grind and make money together, and some like the more degen channels. So that's coming soon. Date to be announced. It's still under construction as we speak, and then we'll get closer to the mint details and time. So that's what the Consortium Key is.
We're actually also running a whitelist giveaway. So like if you click on the Consortium Key and follow through, there's a like, retweet, comment giveaway for a whitelist spot. So make sure you head over there and check that out if it's something you're interested in. The Consortium Key, yeah, it's going to be great. And like as Nate said, there will be market research and analytics, but also like you'll be able to tell we've built out this repository of tools and tracking for ourselves and utilize that for our own information. There are a lot of traders, both known and unknown, that are super successful in the space. And when they make movements, you're not really keen on that unless you've set yourself up ahead of time to be tracking the right wallets and seeing what people are doing. We do all that for you. And so depending on the roles that you have in the server, you'll get notified when, people are making X movements, whether it's Mev Collector trading shit coins, Nate sweeping something, or, some of the unknown, really profitable traders in the space making those same movements. Those alerts will be available to you in like a non-spammy way. Cause that's something, we've noticed is like an issue with a lot of these other projects. And I did also want to touch on like the relation to ACYC with the Consortium Key. This is something our holders have talked about. So first of all, it's like I mentioned, like we're not taking attention away from ACYC to build tools and things for the ground up that we're not utilizing ourselves. These are the tools that we use, whether it's like the market information or the actual tools like, our meme coin sniping bot, which gets you in the first few blocks of liquidity being added, or, our ability to max mint across multiple wallets and disperse funds. Like these are all things that we've built and utilized for ourselves, and packaging that in the Consortium Key is making that available to holders, because obviously in these market conditions, you need whatever kind of like edge you can get over the market, and following smart money is like one of the most profitable ways to trade in the space. It's pretty surefire with some of these traders. If you have the right amount of information coming in, it's a lot easier to make a bet than sort of flying solo or trying to sift through information and filter that out yourselves. So it's just an expansion of what we do as ACYC, but making that available to holders. Some of the mint funds will be going to the ACYC Treasury, which is our investment fund. The way I like to put it is like, if you want us to trade for you, if you don't have the ability to, sweep 20 OK bears or flip Bored Apes, whatever, you buy ACYC and we do it for you. And then when we reach our treasury milestone of $10 million, we'll start reflecting daily. Every day there will be profits going into the pockets of holders. And if you want to do some of the trading yourself, that's where the Consortium Key fits in. So it's the combination of both really is great too. Nate is obviously, a master trader. Pennybags, our farmer, he's wonderful, able to produce magnificent returns on huge amounts of capital. And so like holding ACYC gives you exposure to that. And then, yeah, the Consortium Key, it ties to that in our treasury, in our tools, in what we're doing. And we're also bringing on other people to sort of manage a lot of the Consortium Key as well. So our attention isn't being split, which is just, a concern that I've heard people have. But it's going to be a very valuable tool. And reflectors, again, I'll reiterate, of a certain threshold, reflectors being holders of ACYC. First of all, everyone that's holding ACYC will have opportunities for whitelists within our server. But next to that, there will be a threshold where you are given a whitelist. And we've not announced what that threshold is yet. And we have ways to make sure that, people aren't going to be buying and dumping it. But yeah, that's kind of, I feel like that covers the Consortium Key, Nate. We did dig in a little bit into our investments. We caught the Azuki dip when FUD by the blood. It's very easy for a project like that to turn around. And yeah, Chef Arnold, our sole trader, Arnold Parnomo, he's been trading OK Bears since 20 Sol, I think, for ACYC. And so he was the first one to bring that to our attention. We have the best team in the space here doing research, getting in on the best things. It's not about being on every ship either. It's just about being on the right ones for the moon and positioning yourselves appropriately. As Nate is saying, in this case, making a concerted bet on OK Bears is a smart move to say the least, both from a treasury perspective and an individual perspective. So I think Nate, we could dig in maybe a little bit into ACYC, the price, where we see it, how we see it growing, the timeline, if you want to speak to that a bit.
Yeah. Sorry, I got the girl screaming. I got her on the shoulder, but
I'll
try to just summarize it real quick. ACYC price personally, if I like, yeah, I don't want to say what I was going to say, but like, it's something where for ACYC at this current stage, I would just throw like $50 into it. Nothing crazy. Later on, when everything's really taken off, think of like ACYC as the utility token without actually being the utility token. It's one of those things where if you can accumulate low, do so. Don't put your whole stack, leave your stuff to like trade with. But the token itself, like you can accumulate small amounts, like 10, $15 every here and there. Sadly, it's on the Ethereum blockchain, so the gas is actually a little bit more than that. But yeah, just accumulate. We'll have it as like the utility token further down the line when the fund is set up. Our current goals right now are to raise money to then inject. To this day, we still haven't tried to raise any money officially from anybody because why raise $1 million or $5 million when Ethereum is $3,500 when you could just wait for it to be 1,500 to 1,800 and raise the exact same amount of dollars, but have so much less downside potential. So, don't want to leak too much with the consortium key. We'll be opening up like an investment branch to a greater extent. So just know that down the line, ACYC will be incorporated to that whole system, and that system will be a successful system. So it will yield, successful returns. I know a lot of people here, oh, it's long term, it's a long term play. This is kind of long term, but just know that you kind of like have our word that the token will be used for a proper purpose in the future. And I think that's it for that. If you wanted to start the Q&A, I'm going to get her some milk.
Yeah. And I can speak a little too as well to ACYC. Obviously the price is down a bunch. We're trading at, I think, right around 2 times our treasury. And for the record as well, our treasury tracking on the website, we've moved funds in quick moments, buying dips on our D-owned wallet, buying NFTs, which weren't tracked. Kong's migrated to, on OpenSea, so that hasn't been tracked. There's been a lot of money that's sort of gone missing from the Treasury reporting on the website. So in light of that, we're actually going to introduce soon more robust Treasury tracking. We're going to bring on, some people to help us track and report the performance of the Treasury through time in a much more consistent basis. Because, it's one thing to see the Treasury go down 200K, it's another thing to know why, whether it's, a floor price is down, a balance went missing, whatever. We want to be reporting that to holders. So there's going to be more transparency with that, just so, people can stay informed about what we're doing. But again, ACYC is a very long-term play. As I mentioned, at 10 million, we start our daily reflections, which is, a redistribution of profits from all of our investments to our holders directly, anyone holding ACYC. So right now is like an amazing accumulation phase. Like Nate said, whenever you have extra change to throw in ACYC, that's the goal. We're not going to moonshot in a month. We're talking years outlook. We're going to be trading through the next bear, expertly. That's where like Nate Rivers was born, was in the bear market. So we're very excited about our positioning, ready for, any sort of market conditions, bear market, all of it. It's not a get rich quick scheme. We're going to make purchases. Some of them will go down in the short term. It's about the long-term play, whether it's Kongs, whether it's OK Bears, other side, all of that stuff. Price is variable in the short term, but it's about making long-term bets, growing the treasury, reaching those goals, and redistributing profits to holders. So the bigger piece of ACYC you hold, the bigger piece of the profits you get later. So fundamentally, we're feeling great. Anyone who's here now is very, very early. This is a multi-year protocol. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be sticking around for this bear cycle, next bull, next bear, on into the future, only getting bigger and bigger. So that's sort of where we're at. Yeah, I think we covered the market a good bit. It's obviously like in the dumps. We have capitalized a bit. Nate and Pennybags both had some long positions they made, some long calls that were very profitable in the past couple of days, just trading these dips and everything that's going on. So yeah, the fund is growing. We're happy with where it's at. I feel like we have some clarity on some long-term positions we're making, and more reporting coming soon. So you sort of know what's going on when things go awry. So yeah, I think, Nate, we can move to a Q&A now. If anybody has any questions about what we think about the market, what we're doing with the Consortium Key, with ACYC, any of it, how we're positioning ourselves individually or as an investment fund, which is obviously a little more conservative, less degen, raise your hand and we will bring you up on stage, answer whatever questions you have, have some good community conversation about this crazy market. So yeah, when I see some hands, I will bring some people up for any questions you guys have, how ACYC relates to the key, whatever it is. If you're an ACYC holder, if you're not, if you have questions, I think it would be great to have some people up. So yeah, raise your hands, I'll bring it up. And if we don't have any questions, anybody ask any questions in the next few minutes, we can totally wrap this up. And we are always available in the Discord for questions. Sweet. Yeah, we got one here. Sunglasses Nadil. I am going to add you as a speaker. Yeah, we got a few here. Okay, Sunglasses. You're up, my friend.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you
Cool.
great.
Thanks for what you guys are doing. Awesome spaces. Big believer in ACYC long term. Just a kind of question on the current market state. I know Nate had touched a couple of weeks ago in regards to meme season possibly coming around within like the next couple of weeks, next month or so. What do you guys kind of anticipate happening with meme coin season? And then second, what would be your advice in terms of like just preparation so that we can kind of be ready for that, especially coming from you guys who are like, the expert traders. What are some factors we can kind of, anticipate or keep an eye out for so that we're ready from the get-go? Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll take that one. So yeah, we're still on track. Always anticipated end of May, beginning of June. Still think that's when the meme coin season starts, in my opinion. It tried to start a couple weeks ago. I think Doge went up like 30% in a day, so did Shiba, and it got rejected hard. And so that kind of confirmed that we had to wait a little bit longer. But as far as like, do I think it's still going to happen? 100%. Elon Musk is now, the owner of Twitter. That's super memeable. He's posting memeable things all the time. The market's a little bit trash. And usually if we do recover, like when the market recovers, it's a weird cycle. Like people used to say, the money flows through Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then the mid caps, and then the small cap alts. But most times when the market turns or starts another run, Doge leads the way. It's always like Doge has this little thing where everybody's like, the fuck, why is Doge going up so much? And I think it's a lot of retail. You get a bunch of people who come in with $100 and just buy Doge through Robinhood, Coinbase, and pump people's money. And then the people who are smart take profits and put it into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we start the run. I don't see a future where there's not a meme coin season within the next 30 to 40 days, especially with the charts I'm looking at. And how to prepare. I have a meme coin class. It's free. It's a YouTube video. It's on my Twitter. You probably just search in the Twitter search and just type like @Nate_Rivers and then type in masterclass. And you can find my video. It's about like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I can't remember which, but like it touches everything you need to know to make informed decisions on your own and to cross-check the meme coin calls that other people put out. So like a lot of times it's easier to follow the flow, find the meme coin callers on Twitter when they mention something. In a real meme season, things don't just pump for that hour. They pump for days and days and everybody's right and everybody's rich. So, follow those people, but also know how to validate if you're buying the top by looking at my meme coin class, and it'll also teach you when to exit as well. But yeah, we're still going to have one, I think, for certain. And also just, I would even just set aside USDC or whatever stable you want right now so that you don't use it on other stuff. Like when the meme coin season comes, you're gonna want money that's there. Like you don't want to start with less than you have to. The more you start with, the more you'll make. It's just the name of the game. So make sure that, because even like right now, tomorrow, if meme coin season started for some reason, don't know why, but it wouldn't. But if it did, nobody's ready. Nobody has the time to move the funds to buy as much as they should the first couple of days. They'll slowly get in, and then people will more and more get their Coinbase limits added, et cetera, et cetera, and the price will go up. So like just make sure that you have the amount you want to use ready at all times. And like I cannot say this enough. Meme coin season is free money. Like people are obviously going to lose money, but if you participate from the first 3 or 4 days, you'll make a shit ton of money by just buying and holding a couple things that you think might do well based off your research and based off of the market cap and how much you're putting in. You should be able to make an easy 30x. And then if you were like really good, you could make the 30x, rotate it, and make like a 5x on that. And then buy dips and etc. And then you end the season and now you've got a lot of money. So yeah, meme coin season in play. I'm excited for it. Have USDC ready into May, early June. And if not, like there's just if I'm wrong, which like it's so fine if I'm wrong. Like the longer we grind out, the more that people are gonna the more the whales accumulate, which I know sounds cliche. Like, oh, the whales are accumulating, they just want it lower. Like, no, there are whales who actually do like put in 5K to each of their favorite meme coins every week. And then by the time the meme coin season's here, they've properly DCA'd and they're ready for launch. Yeah, I think a lot of people. I would if I had like $1,000 to $10,000 and I wanted to become rich in the next year, it would all go towards memes, nothing else, and I would be researching right now how to navigate a meme season.
Sweet. Yeah, I think that covered that pretty well. The next person I saw was Brush Your ETH. I'll bring you up. And thank you for the question, Sunglasses. Appreciate that. Sweet. Brush, you are up, my friend.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm so excited for meme season. I can't wait. Thanks for the spaces. It was excellent as always. I think it will be helpful for everyone to really understand the value and utility of the consortium key. It would maybe be if you guys could do like a screen cap video of using Dione or using the different tools, so they can just see how seamless it is and how easy or how hard it's going to be not to make a fat bag of cash from meme season using all of the consortium keys tools. So I think that would really be helpful to put some picture to what is going to be amazing. And of course, I just want to say that was some really great color, guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man. We appreciate it. Happy to deliver the color. As far as previews go, close to the mint, we will absolutely be providing that. The way that we've structured Pan for our personal operation as a fund thus far has been certainly much less user-friendly than it will be, and Pan being our algorithm for meme coin investment. Yeah, a lot less user-friendly, like forward-facing, just because we haven't needed it packaged like that. But what I will say before any visual previews is both Pan and Dione are going to be operated in a very nice way that I think is going to be great for people who are buying the key, and we will provide ample display of what that's going to be like. Something I also just outlined in the alpha chat in the ACYC Discord is that I can't stress enough how valuable tools like this are. Like with Pan, our algorithm, when it's the proper season for coins, Nate always talks about it, like upcoming shitcoin season, you see 100x's, 1000x's like several times a day or week. It's insane. And the way that to do it is you get in early, very, very early, like within the first few blocks of liquidity being added. And that is what Pan does. And the value of something like Pan is absolutely massive. Normally, if you wanted to get your hands on something like that, if you even can, as an individual, it costs you, many tens of thousands of dollars to get your hands on something like Pan, just because you can make all of that back in one trade. We've had gains on Pan, 2,500%, like 250x's in a day, in 3 days, whatever it is. So it's extremely valuable, the tools that we're going to be providing in the key. And yeah, we will be giving good examples of how that's going to look in like a user-friendly, forward-facing way leading up to the mint there. And we appreciate all the support and that you enjoy our great color and everything, moving forward. We're very excited to be bringing this to you guys. So thank you. Thank you for your support and the question. I will bring up next, I saw Jason, and then I will bring up Nolan or Mo and Nolan. Yeah. Sweet, Jason, you are up, my friend. Fire away. If you are here. If not, I'll just take, I saw Mo right before Nolan. I'll add Mo up for a second. And
Hey.
oh, Jason, you're ready.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was muted. I don't know how to use this.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, you're good. We're ready for you.
Cool. Thanks a lot for the spaces. I learned a lot as usual. Can't wait for Consortium Key. My question was around Azuki and maybe position sizing. I learned about buying the blood from you guys, but like, how do you think about buying Azuki? Like, how do you know it's going to bounce back? Like versus like people who are buying Luna and like, that's sort of not bouncing back.
Sweet. Yeah. Nate, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take it. Essentially for Luna though, I'll just break it down in the most like simple terms. The reason so this is where I fucked up too. I was trying to buy the dip on Luna because I saw it like 5x from the bottom at one point. And everybody kept saying don't because it can literally go to an actual zero. And I'm like, why? That doesn't make sense. I buy the dips, sell the rips. The issue with Luna is basically it will go to like absolute zero until the entire debt they owe is paid. Because people are basically doing this. They're minting Luna and selling it for the US dollars that they have in US, whatever theirs is, their Terra, their stable coin. And so they can just like infinitely mint Luna and trade it for US dollars. And that's why the US dollars for them are worth like 60 cents or something. Basically, it's a Ponzi where everybody buying right now is exit liquidity and hoping that it just like rebounds. Whereas with Azuki, it's not something that can't become, they can't, like, they can come back from this. Like, there can be a relief pump. That's what really matters. Do I think long term they can make it again? No, I don't think Azuki will be a confirmed blue chip. Just because of the fiasco, and there were points in it where I was researching and I was like, wow, like this is like the founder isn't that bad, and then you get some other proofs put out there and you're like, wow, shithead. But if like he stepped down, that would be like an exit pump. Yeah, Azuki might like 2x real quick. But as far as like risk to reward, like Azuki was just at like 30 Ethereum or 35, I cannot remember, and now it's at 10. And big round numbers like 10, 20, 15, stuff like that, people like to rally around. So just buying at 10 just makes sense. And yes, it did go down to 8, but with haste, it went right back above 10. So yeah, just buying, holding, and basically the strategy with that is wait for something that the people like wait for the founder to say he is stepping down, or wait for the founder to say, I have made my past projects whole, or wait for him to at least just make them feel like they got something, and then sentiment will change for like a few hours, exit pump, and then we'll sell, and then it'll probably go back down because there's new projects every day. The community is strong for Azuki. The art is strong. People like to do cool shit together. But if you don't trust, it's like your parent. Like if you can't trust your own parent, then you can't be a part of that family and feel good. So yeah, as far as holding Azuki long term, risk to reward isn't there unless the entry price for somebody was super low.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Thanks a lot for that. And if you had 10 ETH to spend and only 10 ETH, you probably shouldn't buy Azuki, right? Because it's like too big.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, gotcha. Then
absolutely.
I'm glad I didn't try. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, because also if you have, let's just say you have 15 ETH and Azuki's 10, so now you have 5 ETH left over, and let's say there's some other side FUD, like the land sale, just imagine there's some FUD and something dips 50%. You could have bought that with your 10 ETH, sold it at 50%, and now had 15, and bought an Azuki and had another 5 ETH. Basically what I'm saying is that it's non-productive. Like it's not a really productive asset to hold right now. There are other things like I'll shill OK Bears 2.5 ETH. We have no founder fiasco. Our founders, like I feel like I could trust them with so much more than anybody online that I've met in certain ways. Just that I trust what they're saying. I trust the mission. So yeah, no, I don't think Azuki. A lot of Ethereum stuff I don't think is a buy. Like we've kind of like pumped value into stuff to an unreasonable peg. Like you're a blue chip if you're above 15 Ethereum, but some of the things that are becoming blue chips are like people like CloneX because fashion, streetwear, Nike, words like that. But when you really look at like the founders' Twitters, they're kind of like childs. And like they're childs in the aspect that like one of the founders will tear down the Bored Ape Yacht Club FUD. Like they'll like when the other side minted, one of the founders was like, I cannot believe you're such a big company and you know so much and you lost all these people this money. That's unacceptable. We need to do better going forward. And then you have the other founder of CloneX going, I stand by Bored Ape Yacht Club, the team, stand up guys. Sometimes when you innovate, when you pave the way, things happen. Like one of them's supporting them, one of them's tearing them apart. And on any given day, both of them will tweet like very weird bipolar stuff. And they all their collections they've released since CloneX have had a 10% tax on secondaries. And it's not like they minted the CloneX vials and stuff for free. Like people paid money for that. They paid 2.5 Ethereum, I believe, or 2 Ethereum, which is like a lot of money, and they're still being taxed 10%. And everything after that, they're being taxed 10%. It just speaks volume to who they are. And like I don't vibe with that. Fuck that. Like you gave me 3D rendered models that I could pay $150 for, and then have some artists draw trades for. Like there's, as far as that type of stuff goes, like we're pumping values into stuff that really doesn't make sense. Like Nike will put their name on it, and yes, they did buy it out, whatever that means. But these people are still here for like malicious reasons, in my opinion. They're here to siphon out as much money as possible. So that's just like my thoughts with like, why I wouldn't spend this money. Like a lot of people are waking up. Like they're seeing like that in the past we had these insane volume days, and everybody, if you really just aped in and built a bag of blue chips, when it goes up, you're rich. And then they realize, wow, at some point, whether or not you bought low and didn't sell high, you're still exit liquidity for somebody else. It's just a weird thing. Personally, I've said it multiple times, was gonna stop buying NFTs after the other side drop until OK Bears came out and something made sense again. And I'm not saying that OK Bears is the only thing. Like I hold Cyberkongs, and those are the things I was gonna hold too. And now that I'm on the Solana blockchain, there's a lot of other cool projects, and I know there are cool projects on the Ethereum blockchain, but just the flipping community culture and people flopping from project to project and people flooding it. Like right now, if the Ethereum blockchain, people like the influencers on the Ethereum side wanted to FUD anything on Solana, it wouldn't make an impact because half of it doesn't even get to their side of the world, and vice versa too. Like if Solana FUDed Ethereum, like half of it doesn't get to their other side of the world. Whereas like if the consensus of like Ethereum based influencers weren't happy with a project, then the entire Ethereum trading base will sell. So it's just some weird stuff. OK Bears to the moon.
Yeah, it's funny while we're talking right now. I don't know why Azuki's pumping to 12 ETH. There's been like 60 sales in the last hour, and that's another example. Like, yeah, buy the blood. They dip down to 7.3. You buy that in this like terrible market. You flip it for 5 ETH like 3 days later. You want to like buy the FUD.
Yeah, I bet if we look right now at the Twitter, there's probably been something recently that we just haven't looked at, or
some insider info.
Yeah, or some insider info. Just something that people like. Maybe it was just like, I'm not trying to spread rumors. Don't go out and tweet. Quote, Nate said this, but like maybe Zagabond, who is like the shithead of Azuki, maybe he did tell some people like, hey, I am actually stepping down, and now it's spreading out, because that would be, like we just talked about before we knew, that would be a bullish catalyst where other people would be like, okay, buy, like whisper, 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 it comes out, boom, exit liquidity. So like personally, like I don't know, I like I when I was buying these Azukis for the fund, I was like, I like them, they look good, but obviously there has to be a sales point. I mean, a sell point. I think if I'm looking at this volume, yeah, you're right. The floor is now 12. They're selling minutes, hour. What the fuck? Yeah, this is definitely something. This isn't
Yeah,
nothing.
418 sales in the last 24
Yeah.
hours on something with the 10 ETH floor is massive.
Well, and if you just look at it, it all started 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
4 hours ago, just continuous sweeping. It's not that people think, I believe it. I don't think people think that 12 Ethereum Azuki is cheap, but I do think that they think they can make money off of it. But yeah, wow, it's interesting. We talk about this type of thing, and it comes to play in
Here it
real
is
life. Like
happening.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking at Azuki. I'm looking at OK Bears. I'm refreshing the listings. I want to see if anybody lists a nice one near floor. But we are flipping OK Bears. I mean, not OK Bears, Azukis, to make money, because that's the name of the game. If we see something, we buy the blood, we sell. We buy the FUD, sell. I mean, buy the dip, sell the rip. Yada yada.
Yeah, totally. So I think, yeah, that sums it up. Thank you, Jason, for your question. Mo, you're up, and then Nolan, and then Smoking Gorilla.
Yo, what up?
Hey, Mo.
How you doing? Yo, great to hear you guys. I wanted to add what you guys were saying about, Consortium Key, that, with ACYC, we have an alpha channel on Discord that people can get involved in. And during meme season before, there was a lot of alpha being shared there, and, many X made based on that alpha. I did want to ask you guys about Sandbox. How do you feel about Sandbox? I know what happened with CyberKongs, but I mean, it's very cheap also. I know they have a game coming out at the end of the year, supposedly, if they make their deadline with the mobile game. But how do you guys feel about that? And regarding NFTs, we know, things change. Some NFTs on the page on ACYC are kind of like, not moving or things like that. Do you just keep them forever, or is there like, okay, this project's dead, we burn it or something, just to get it off the wallet? I mean, how does
Yeah,
that go?
no, totally. So I'll start with Sandbox. With Sandbox, I think people are impatient in this space, and they seem to forget Sandbox has been in development for nearly 6 years now. And I think other side is going to be great. Yuga has awesome funding. They're smart. They have the proper backers. But as Nate mentioned, we're going to be shifting a lot of allocations into play to earn as far as that side of our fund outside of farming goes. And Sandbox is definitely one of them. I think people are writing it off right now, and they're going to regret that later. It's not easy building a game. It's actually like extremely hard. And it takes many years of development. So if Sandbox comes out and is great, it's going to take years for anyone to even catch up, because nobody else is anywhere near in the development that Sandbox is. So yeah, there have been definitely setbacks. I know they were slated for a Q4 2021 release. Obviously, we're now looking at, the Q4 2022, even into 2023. And that is, in my opinion, certainly a buying opportunity. And then as far as like NFTs go, certain plays like CyberKongs, we can buy CyberKongs at 4 to 6 ETH and feel comfortable knowing that, the downside isn't huge right now. Whatever, they're around 3 ETH. That's not a huge percentage down. And in the long term, that's an opportunity to average. And it's one of those slower moving projects that holds value. But especially in markets like these, when you see something like Azuki falling from a 35 ETH floor, you seem to realize like a lot of projects are built on sort of like a sandcastle, where like the value that they're providing is really just like building a community that's willing to like pay a lot of money for stuff, versus actually like creating systems of value that can sustain through, many different types of markets like CyberKong. So yeah, we can have things that go down, and like allocations like Kongs, or if OK Bears go down, but like an investment thesis that remains, we're comfortable holding that for a long time. But that being said, there's absolutely things where, we'll buy, a pump doesn't happen the way we expect, and we exit lower, because having that liquidity for something that we think is more opportune is, more advantageous for us as a fund. Like cutting losses in the space, it's like super hard, but it's also one of the most valuable tools I think that traders have in their arsenal. Sneaky Ninja Pants, for people who know him, he's like a master of cutting losses. Like, I'll watch him take a 10, 15 ETH loss on something within a day and reallocate that somewhere else. Just because, sometimes that's the most profitable move to make. You don't want to marry your bags. You got to accept what the market is doing, understand if your thesis was off in the first place, and just learn to shift with that. So I think it's like having flexibility in your trading, really important.
The only bag I'm married to is ACYC.
Yeah, man. And then with the key, we have our alpha channel in the ACYC Discord for holders of 200 million or more. The consortium key is like tools, and it'll be like curated information. But the alpha Discord in ACYC is a much more, spitfire community, talking, right off the cuff, sharing information right out of the gates, making moves. We did see, several hundred X's in there in the last coin season. So that has value now, and it will continue to have value as like a hub for alpha to be shared and discussed. Some people will be holding the key. I'm sure they'll be talking about it in the alpha channel. So that has current.
Can I ask you one last question about the key?
Yeah.
I know in the past we had spoke about there being an investment level towards with Alpha Pass, but with Consortium Key, is one key get you in, or can you get multiple keys, and does that give you something else? How does that work?
So at this point, we don't have tiers for owning multiple keys. I love to encourage people. Somebody asked, like, if I have a whitelist for the key already, should I like not participate in the giveaways? Like, hell no, participate in the giveaways. Like, keep one for yourself, flip one. We're all for like free markets. We want people to be trading these. We want, active market conditions. So like, I think just at this point, there's no tiered access for it. We are planning to have some level of expansion for the key as we move forward. There, may be different levels that are introduced later. But right now, nothing like that. It's going to be the consortium key out of the gates. As we release, it'll have all the information curated, and soon after we'll have the tools pan and minus available to be used.
And one thing I just wanted to say, last thing, whoever has been in ACYC since the beginning, and if you suffered a loss, whatever you experience, don't forget dollar cost average. I'm doing it too.
Yeah, dollar cost average is your best friend. And when we're trading at, like, I think even potentially, if our balances were correct on the website, potentially a little lower than 2x the Treasury, the market cap, that's like a huge buy signal. So great time to average. Thank you, Mo, for your questions. Nolan, you've been so patient. I'm bringing you up now, and then Smokin', you are next. Sweet, Nolan. I think we have you
awesome.
up here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great.
Cool. Thanks for bringing me up. So have been like Mo in ACYC since the beginning. I think for anyone who spent any time at all in the ACYC Alpha channel, there's definitely been some huge gains there. Personally, I remember Mongoose coin was a total flyer that I definitely wouldn't have caught had it not been for that. So definitely believe that we can totally outperform the market. And curious, how do we think about getting that story more visible? And specifically, like, given that the Treasury tracking isn't quite accurate on the website, like you were mentioning earlier, how is the Treasury performed outside of reflections relative to market? And how do we communicate that more effectively to people so they understand, what's going on here? Then I've got a follow-up question after that.
Yeah, I think it's performed somewhere between, like, on peg with Bitcoin and right between that and Luna. We've been nuked a couple times and built back. I'll say this: as far as recording and performance, right now we're kind of just consolidating from thing to thing, and this is kind of what you do on the way down. And I think right now we have our developer working on a system to help track the NFTs we're buying better and include the numbers. But in terms of total, like, net worth of the Treasury, performing better than if you were just holding Bitcoin or Ethereum, but definitely down. And going forward, though, and I like how you mentioned the Mongoose times, because that was the first huge win that the ACYC alpha holders had. Like, I think it was something like 2000x, like something incredible. Somebody called it like a $2,000 market cap, and it went to 20 million, or it might have went to like 60 million. But after that, we had a few more big ones. We had Colt, we had Stilton, we had some other ones, Caw, some big wins. But we're also in a time right now, like since ACYC's conception, ACYC was conceived literally at the start of the what I would call this like last 4-month, 5-month bear, 6-month bear. And it's not a bear, but it's one of those things where not everything makes money, and everything that goes up comes down. I think reflecting and giving more information going forward, because I truly do believe that this is the spot where we see a little bit more shakeout, a little bit more down, a little bit more up, a little bit more down. But we will bounce back and have some like incredible euphoric time. It's kind of like, I'll compare, it's kind of fucking crazy. I'll compare, because this makes sense. I'll compare Bitcoin and Ethereum in the market right now to Azuki, because I heard a really good concept that makes sense because it's what happens. So somebody said that it's rumored that like Azuki might be getting acquired similar to like how CloneX was acquired by Nike. But to get acquired, you have to air out all of your bad laundry. Like for Azuki, it's not like a shame that the founder has to like tell the people that are considering buying them out or coming on board as a partner. They're not like ashamed to say that they've had previous projects and they didn't perform. They just have to say it because it can't come out after the fact. It has to, everything that the dirty laundry has to be aired. And that's what people kind of theorized why the founder mentioned all of the projects and stuff, because you just had to get it out of the way. And that's why when you read his tweets too, he kind of sounds like, guys, don't worry. We're going to get through this. There's going to be better days. He's confident. And you can tell he's confident because that's probably what's happening. Same thing with Bitcoin and Ethereum in the market right now. Like Luna was kind of like our current like BitConnect in a way, where it could implode and go to zero, and so many people lost millions and hundreds of thousands. But it had to be done to go into a matured market. Like we can't go into like what we call, you know, peak performance, peak Bitcoin, 10,000 Ethereum, stuff like that, until that type of thing capitulates, until we educate all the new investors why the fuck you would never sell your US, why you never sell your Tether for 97 cents, because that's like the dumbest thing ever, and it's happened a trillion times. Like you just don't sell you just wait. Like why people were so uneducated. They're like, what is Luna? Like how does all this work? Like what? It's the top what coin? Like that's insane. How did it get so many $billion market valuation? So I feel like we kind of like had to cut the bad laundry, or air out the bad laundry of like what's happening so that we can go matured. And I think going forward, we will show more of everything we're doing and make more concrete, like calculated bets without so much repositioning, because we're entering a time where it's the buy and hold. Like buy, hold something when it pumps, sell half, sell 25%, go find something else that hasn't pumped yet, put it in there and sit. Like that's my favorite market. I think that's a lot of people's favorite market. I do like the buy the dip, sell the rip, but my favorite market is just buying something before it pumps. And yeah, so going forward, I think we'll have a lot of more transparency avenues through the Consortium Key Discord. And yeah, I don't know how I divulged into that, but I am bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah,
I guess what I'm asking specifically is, again, have total faith that the team and all the alpha that's being dropped in the channels can outperform the market. I think people that bought ACYC early believed that. I think they still would believe that if they'd spent any time in there. But the original sort of positioning was that ACYC was the way to beat the market and to passively get sort of exposure to those positions, which would seem to mean that would be that would require showing that the Treasury is beating the market, so that's one way of returning value to holders. And then obviously there's reflections, but reflections are dependent on the token price ultimately in terms of value. And then sort of the last way of accreting value from a token standpoint is if there's tremendous alpha in the channel, which there has been to date, and certainly, again, just like want to repeat, like tremendous alpha in the ACY channel. So then why not give the consortium key, why not just have the consortium key be part of ACYC, which then would allow it to be, that would attract more people to purchase ACYC because they have to purchase ACYC in a certain amount to get into the alpha channel rather than launching a sort of separate project that doesn't actually, that in my humble opinion, dilutes away the level of alpha. Or even if it doesn't dilute it away, I'm just wondering why not have it be another value add to being part of the ACY community rather than doing it separately.
Right, totally. No. And so first those are great questions. And so first to address like Treasury reporting versus the market, as I mentioned, there have been hiccups along the way, always with data availability and fetching the information about investment performance. And so, as I mentioned, we're starting an initiative to have consistent reporting on the Treasury. It might be boring because we're not necessarily changing positions, but we want to provide transparency as to, we're down, 5% in the Treasury. Like, is that because Kong's floor price is down? Is that because, some assets got allocated elsewhere that isn't tracked? We're going to have that information available to holders. And, our fund started without funding. Nate provided, a loan of 100 ETH or something to that effect that we've compounded now to somewhere in the area of $2 million. So we're certainly outperforming the market. We're not immune to the downsides by any mean. We have bags that we've bought that have gone down, be it coins, be it NFTs. But in those moments, we've also been flipping tokens, flipping NFTs, hedging ourselves so that we're able to continue yielding. Our farmer penny bags is continuously using his crystal ball to know when to short Ethereum, when to go long, to profit on the downside and the upside. So yeah, we are planning to have more transparency as far as Treasury reporting goes, so that people are able to, see the benefits of, participating in ACYC. Next to that, having alpha in the channel and the relation of the consortium key to ACYC. The thing that I touched on earlier is like what we've developed as far as like Pan and Mimus goes. Like those are huge amounts of value that if anybody wanted, it would be like a disgusting amount of money to participate in something like that. And we don't want that to be the case. We want to make those tools available to holders of the key. And we want to also reward, big reflectors and people who have been with us from the beginning with very much ample opportunity to get the key, at lower prices, as well as, offer people automatic whitelists and things like that. The thing, I think there's a distinction to highlight there where like the alpha community and ACYC channel is like, that's the community focus. The consortium key, the focus is on providing the tools and information that we use to trade, not necessarily to have like that be where people are like, sharing all the alpha that's going on. There will of course be chats in there as well. But, there are mechanisms that we're going to have in the server as well that, without giving too much away, will benefit big reflectors throughout, as well as maintaining that, the ACYC alpha channel will continue to be, the hub of alpha that we've been able to provide, as well as the community moving forward. And also, as more of those gains happen, we definitely want to make that information available to people so they, so that they can see the value add in participating in the ecosystem.
I'll just add one thing to that. The ACYC big reflectors and people of a certain amount of tokens will get like heavily discounted membership. So it'll be almost like please come. And if not, like we do have other value adds planned for the later expansions of the consortium key community that will benefit the big reflectors and anybody holding ACYC. Like it's going to be implemented as like the power source, kind of like Ape Token is for Yuga, of everything that goes on over there. And then also in terms, like it would make more sense in my opinion to just make it so all big reflectors have access. We just put it over there. I do think though that we need a level of funding to fund out like analysts, fund out people to make these tools and finish them and make them exactly as user friendly as they should be, but more so funding to get analysts in. So, like Boggart said with penny bags, how he's been knowing when to short and long Ethereum, like it's one of those things where if you don't know the name penny bags, you probably don't know the name penny bags. Some of you do, and a select few of you who do are very lucky, because penny bags will write up like these reports for us in our like friend group channels, and every time it hits, like and it goes and it does in the time frames and like he's like very right very often, and it's also because he knows when and why to strike and what to do and how to handle it and what to expect. Like I've never seen penny bags in like the last 6 months, maybe even 8 months, blow up a trade from making the wrong directional call and not cutting it quick enough. So what you'd be getting essentially is somebody like penny bags in your channel who is funded and motivated to come and write those daily or bi-daily reports to keep you informed and seen from a new perspective. So it's almost like paying for people to come in and educate us and to calm our minds on top of that.
Right, but I thought that we were paying for that via the Treasury allocation going to advisors from the ACYC Treasury, right, or from the tokens, right?
Well,
what's confusing to me is why it doesn't all just live under ACYC, given ACYC is down, 90, 95% for a lot of the large holders, and why not just focus on adding value to ACYC rather than spreading it across?
Yeah, totally. So it's multifaceted. So like the tools that we've developed now and, the way that we're taking them and making them user friendly, obviously is a lot of work, takes a lot of money bringing on people to, build out the information that will be available in the consortium key. We don't want to split the focus of the ACYC team where we have people like Nate and Pennybags and people in our team having to take time away from ACYC and trading to now, operate the research and information available in the key. So that takes funding. The advisory funds and allocations right now are so we can pay for marketing, to pay for development of tools within our Discord right now, to pay for traders. Our whole team is expanded to something around 25 people that are involved. So that's where current allocations are going. But to operate the key it is going to be something that requires funding. And so the way that we've positioned it is to be tied to ACYC. We're also going to be using the development of those tools. It's not exclusive for the key. We utilize those tools too. So whether we introduce, arbitrage bots later that are checking across floors across different marketplaces, or any of the other ideas that I will remain tight-lipped about for, building value and tools for ourselves, we want to just also make that available to a community of people that want to trade for themselves, where ACYC is you hold ACYC if you want us to utilize these tools and information to trade for you. You get the consortium key if you want to do that trading yourself, but they're not mutually exclusive, but they're also not like something you have to participate in both. And there's going to be people who just want to hold ACYC who say, regardless of tools, I don't have the time. I'm overwhelmed. I can't do the trading myself. I'm not interested in the key. I can sit in the alpha channel and get the information that's coming from people for it. Or there's going to be a group of people that are like, I'm happy to do all of the trading myself. And so, having the opportunity for them to then achieve that key as well as a separate entity is the goal. But overall, at the core of it, these are systems that we're building out that benefit the fund ACYC, the way that we manage our treasury, as well as benefiting holders of the key as well. And obviously the treasury performance of ACYC benefits the holders of the token.
Cool. I'll step down. I appreciate the dialogue and give some airtime for other people to ask questions. Thanks.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you so much. No, I appreciate you coming up. And now I will bring up Smoking Gorilla. I saw you raise your hand, and then yeah, sweet.
Yeah, I think I have to go after Smoking Gorilla.
Okay,
but
sweet. Yeah, we
also want to say for everybody listening, it looks like we just busted past $2,000 Ethereum with conviction. That was a lot of volume. So resume up only, hopefully.
So, am I cool to ask away? Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
So, speaking project to project and sort of future treasury management to current treasury management, which you guys have explained, and I've seen from like past actions that you guys obviously are very good at it. I kind of wanted to get your knowledge in regards to, because basically because our treasury is not live yet, we're looking at OK Bears as you said, you've advanced your treasury. So because of the opportunity on OK Bears is pretty prevalent due to the down market. And when we look at the art, there is potential, just looking at the art, for it feels like it has the potential to do what Bored Ape has done. And I think a lot of people look at that. But I just kind of wanted to ask you, what is your like projection for it in terms of, as a treasury, what do you hope to achieve off of it dollar value wise?
So we spent I think our average bear so far, if you kind of just like neglect any rarities, is probably about $5,500 each, maybe $5,750. Projecting, like, a lot of blue chips like have troubles busting up. Like Bored Apes, not too long ago were 30 Ethereum. Something like 6 or 7 months ago, they were 30 Ethereum. Actually, like six months ago. And they busted from 30 to 40 to 50 to 60, back down to 50 to 80 to 60. And they just make this climb up. And a lot of projects get rejected. Like Azuki went to like 40 something, and then boom, straight down, all the way down. Doodles went to 25, boom, straight down, 17. I think that out of everything I see right now, OK Bears has the best shot to touch the 25 Ethereum floor, bust up to 40. And because if you go to okbears.com and just read what we're all about, you'll see that it's a very clear brand, a very clear purpose. The potential is pretty much limitless. And like you said, the art's cool, but also the founders are amazing. The blueprint for what we're doing in the future is amazing, and it's not too ambitious. It's a low-hanging fruit that is a lot of fun, and it's almost like doing Bored Apes, but once more, like around 2, and making it have a greater message, because like everybody knows about like, yeah.
I
So
understand.
honestly,
It was just, I guess it's more not so much the message, but because you've spoken about the treasury and the way that you're purchasing with that, I just kind of wanted to expect what you
100,000,
for the assets
100,000 before we sell.
Each.
Yeah, each. That's what they were bought for. They weren't bought to flip. They were bought to sit on and let people like me and the team behind the project build it to what it can be. And once we're at a point, because like some people build conviction at a 50 to 100 Ethereum floor, and some build it at a 2 Ethereum floor. We're here building our conviction at a 2 Ethereum floor, knowing that at the same time, 6 months later, somebody will be saying the exact same words at 100 Ethereum. So like this is like, people get triggered a little bit when they hear this. I don't like to compare this to Bored Apes because this can be bigger than Bored Apes. And that's not Moonboy talk. Like, I didn't buy in at Mint. I'm buying now. I buy every day. All my money will go into OK Bears, because just to even, in my mind, like rationalize that this will be bigger than Bored Apes lets me know that it'll be at least half as much. And Bored Apes peaked at about 1.2 mil. So half as much is 500K, and I just hit you with 100K. So I think 100K is very likely, and that's where we'll be selling the first ones. And then by that time, hopefully we'll be able to rotate those and do other things. and let that money grow again. But no, those aren't for flipping. Those are for buying, holding, and continually accumulating. Like we still have funds to trade stuff like Azukis and crypto dips, but as far as those go, like, dude, I just want to give you a little insight too. Back when Bored Apes launched, some people just bought one ape, and what like Tropo Farmer, if you know Tropo Farmer, he only has one Bored Ape, and he is one of the most active community members in that community. Tropo has had a great last year. I mean, except for Meaty Beanie, he's had a year of making money off of advising, off of chilling with other apes, off of having like a podcast, and off of holding his one ape. So in a year, he made a mill off of holding one ape. Uh, and all you have to do is buy, hold, have fun. And so that's what the thesis is with the OK Bears. Buy it, don't flip it. And if we do flip it, like I know how to, pin a euphoric top. Maybe we'll flip some, like maybe like if we go up to 50K instantly, maybe flip some. But like long term, we won't go down in total number of OK Bears until after like 100K floor.
Okay. And do you think that at some point the revalue of an NFT, as there's more of them and the quality will come into play? Do you think that in like 4 or 5 years time there could be a kind of a value die off?
Yeah, 100%. But I think like how I mentioned, the brand is so strong. There are 10,000 bears, so there are 10,000 people who can identify with the brand and go out and like steward it forward. But with something like this, I could envision that in the future, maybe, the single bear isn't 100K, but now we're at a collection of 100,000 people who all have the same vision across the world holding bears, and your one bear turned into 10. And now your 10 bears are worth 10K each. That's a much more affordable buy-in for people to join into a movement like that. And I think that's where like it's the GM like motto, like good morning, like just going out and making people feel good and being a part of the community that has fun. Kind of like if you've heard of WeWork, it's almost like WeWork but for NFTs. Like the sororities at my college, some of the girls would pay like $1,500 a semester, $3,000 a year to join a social club. After 4 years, they've paid $12,000. They've made all these great friends. They have this connection to go back to after they, graduate college. But they've still paid $12,000. And so same thing here. Like if 100,000 people want to pay $10,000 for an NFT that they can join a community of, and then later on sell for the same fucking price. So I think I feel comfy. I feel okay. I don't know how other things will weather. Like with CloneX, how they have these monoliths that every time they do a shoe drop, your monolith breaks open, you get a shoe, you get a vial, you get a new monolith. And then at some point, like, the multiplier effect, 20,000 shoes, 20,000 shoes, 20,000 shoes, or if they even do other stuff, like it's just too many items, too much stuff, too much dilution that always kills everything at the end. I think OK Bears are positioned well, and I don't know how many other NFTs will do.
That's a great answer. Thank you. And I think, like you said, like there's influencers haven't even got into OK Bears yet. And when I say influence, I mean actual celebrities that are looking to digitally represent themselves in a great way. Because you've got people like Messi and Snoop Dogg and all the ones we know about with Bored Ape, that there are other celebrities that haven't actually started to utilize this yet. So we could actually see just mass adoption from us, the NFT creators, creating value assets for a certain select rich few that parts of us get to be involved in if we're there for mint. But yeah, thank you for your answer, man.
Yeah, I think you just hit it on the nail too. Like I won't go too far into it, but at the end of the day, the celebrities haven't bought in, and usually they don't buy in. Somebody buys them for them. But MoonPay is something that everybody knows. MoonPay sweeps NFTs like Bored Apes and stuff and gives them to celebrities. MoonPay is the top option on the Phantom wallet for Solana. So like for MoonPay, you can buy, crypto with your card. So like if I'm on the Solana buying OK Bears and I want some more money, I can use MoonPay to buy Solana directly to my wallet for cash. Like if we're bringing over insane volume and people are going to continue to use MoonPay, don't you think MoonPay like wants to become associated and make us bring more people over, give them more money? The two founders of Solana are using them as their profile pictures. OK Bears. Raj, the founder of Solana, just bought the dip yesterday. He bought like 10 or something off the floor that he liked. Actually, above the floor, they're like 2x the floor. All of like the seed round raisers for Solana are like buying these. Like people are parking their Solana in these kind of the same way they do Ethereum. So yeah, dude, this is the most brain dead choice at 2.5 Ethereum I've ever seen in my life. And we're gonna hold on to these until other people realize they're worth what we think they're worth now, but just right now it's not priced right.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah,
it's a move.
my
It's a
fingers on
move.
the trigger. Let's put it like that. My fingers on the
Yeah,
trigger.
it's a move. It's a move, and it's one of those things where even if it goes down a little bit, like no worries at all. Like you can just ride it with everybody. All
Because
right.
that's
Well,
like you said, it's like a solid community. Like you said, that guy, he bought one, and I know everyone has this story, right? But I got shown Bored Apes at fucking like $3,000, like maybe even cheaper. Like I got shown Bored Apes before the bubble hit, right? And I didn't even know what I was looking at the time. And now you say that guy, the chap you spoke of, he made a million off it. If you hold a from holding it and being part of the community. So if you're part of Bears, like $5,000 will easily pay back in just big community involvement. And I think that's a really interesting way of looking at the NFT. Obviously people do that, but what you're saying fundamentally is, okay, Bears isn't going to lack on its community, and it isn't going to lack on the quality. And some NFTs don't deliver on that. So that's something that I didn't even. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good to see a professional talk about this thing, these elements.
Yeah, and my DMs are always open if somebody wants me to show them OK Bears even deeper. I always respond if somebody's like, "Hey, tell me more about OK Bears." Yeah, so there's a million more reasons like that. I'm gonna step off for now. Girl needs a bottle. So thanks for everybody coming. Thanks for the questions, and
Yeah,
thanks
thank
for
you
bearing
guys.
with us.
You can always ping us, message us. It was a great spaces. It will be available on our YouTube. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.